Some discoveries make sense. They fit neatly into what we know about history, science, and the laws of nature. And then there are the ones that don't. These are the impossible finds, the things that shouldn't exist but do. The kind that leaves experts scrambling for explanations that never quite add up. We're talking about artifacts that predate human civilization, lost knowledge that reappears centuries too early, ancient structures that seem to defy technology, and eerie finds that challenge what we thought was real. Are they proof of lost civilizations, mistakes in our historical timeline, or just reality playing tricks on us? One thing is certain. These finds refuse to be explained away. Here are 15 discoveries that have no business existing, but somehow they do. Number 15. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of Greece pulled up a strange, corroded metal device from a shipwreck. It looked like nothing more than a lump of rust, until scientists examined it closely and realized it contained gears, dials, and a complex system of calculations. Now known as the Antikythera mechanism, this 2,000-year-old artifact is essentially an ancient analog computer. It could track planetary movements, predict eclipses, and adjust for leap years, all with technology that shouldn't have existed until the 1400s. The real mystery? There's no record of how the ancient Greeks developed such an advanced device. Even stranger, nothing like it was ever found again. Some believe it was part of a lost technological tradition, proof that ancient civilizations were more advanced than we thought. Others suggest it's an out-of-place artifact, something that just shouldn't exist. Either way, it's a piece of history that doesn't fit the timeline at all. Number 14. The Siberian Screaming Crater. In the remote Siberian wilderness, there's a massive crater that keeps getting bigger and making deep, unexplainable noises. Known as the Baghdad crater, it's a 300-foot deep, mile-long scar in the earth that scientists claim was caused by melting permafrost. That's the official explanation, but the locals aren't buying it. Indigenous tribes in the area refuse to go near it, claiming it's the doorway to the underworld. Multiple reports describe low-frequency rumbling sounds coming from deep within the crater, sounds that shouldn't be there. Recordings taken at the site captured strange mechanical hums and vibrations beneath the earth, leading some researchers to speculate that there may be an unknown underground structure or something else buried beneath the ice. Whether it's a natural phenomenon, an ancient ruin, or something far more unsettling, the fact remains. This crater shouldn't be making noise, but it won't stop. Number 13. The Baghdad Battery. In 1938, archaeologists near Baghdad uncovered a 2,000-year-old clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. At first, it looked like just another piece of pottery, until scientists realized it might be something far more advanced, a primitive battery. When filled with an acidic liquid, such as vinegar or citrus juice, the Baghdad battery can produce a weak electrical current. That shouldn't be possible, because electricity wasn't officially discovered until the 18th century. So what was this used for? Some researchers believe it may have been an early form of electroplating, used to coat metals with thin layers of gold or silver. Others think it's evidence of lost technology, proof that ancient civilizations knew more than history gives them credit for. If the Baghdad battery was truly used for electricity, it means someone figured out how to generate power 1,800 years before it was officially discovered, and then that knowledge disappeared completely. Number 12. The Codex Gigas. The Codex Gigas, also called the Devil's Bible, is the largest medieval manuscript in the world. But its real mystery isn't its size. It's the fact that it shouldn't exist at all. The book is written in perfectly consistent handwriting from start to finish, leading experts to believe it was all written by a single person. The problem? The sheer volume of text would have taken at least 30 years to complete. According to legend, the writer, a monk sentenced to death, made a deal with the devil to finish the book in a single night. Adding to the creep factor, the Codex Gigas contains an eerie full-page illustration of the devil, as well as detailed instructions on exorcisms and dark rituals. Some believe the book was meant to trap demons within its pages, while others claim it holds secrets that were never meant to be read. Whatever the truth, the Codex Gigas remains one of the most unsettling artifacts in history. Number 11. The Ica Stones. Scattered throughout Peru, thousands of strange carved stones have been discovered, depicting dinosaurs, complex surgical procedures, and unknown ancient maps. Known as the Ica Stones, they present an impossible problem. They appear to show things that humans shouldn't have known about thousands of years ago. The stones feature images of humans interacting with dinosaurs, despite the fact that mainstream science says they went extinct 65 million years before people existed. They also depict advanced medical procedures, including open-heart surgery and brain transplants, centuries ahead of their time. Skeptics claim the stones are forgeries, but tests have shown that some of them are indeed ancient. If real, they suggest that either our timeline of human history is wrong, or someone in the distant past had knowledge they shouldn't have. Either way, the Ica stones remain one of archaeology's greatest controversies. Number 10. The London Hammer. In the 1930s, a couple hiking in Texas discovered something that shouldn't have been possible: a modern-looking hammer encased in rock that was estimated to be over 400 million years old. Geologists confirmed that the surrounding rock predates the age of the dinosaurs, which means the hammer either fell through time or our dating methods are flawed. Stranger still, the hammer's iron head is 96% pure, a level of refinement far beyond what was possible for ancient civilizations. Some believe it's evidence that advanced human societies existed long before recorded history, while others suspect a natural anomaly caused the hammer to become encased in prehistoric rock. But no matter the explanation, the London Hammer remains an impossible artifact, one that challenges everything we know about human history. Number 9. The Vitrified Forts. Scattered across Scotland, Ireland, and parts of Europe, ancient fortresses have been found with their stone walls fused into glass. This process, called vitrification, requires temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius, far hotter than any ancient civilization was supposed to be able to generate. Historians have no solid explanation for how these walls were melted. Some suggest a lost technology, perhaps an unknown method of warfare or construction. Others believe the forts were intentionally burned, but that doesn't explain why only some parts were vitrified while others remained intact. Even stranger, no historical records mention how or why this was done. Some theorists have gone as far as to speculate about prehistoric nuclear-like energy or advanced lost civilizations. Whatever the cause, these melted forts remain a baffling mystery, one that refuses to fit into the timeline of human technological progress. Number 8. The Nazca Lines. Sprawled across the Peruvian desert, the Nazca Lines are a collection of enormous geometric patterns, animals, and humanoid figures carved into the earth. The strange part? They can only be fully seen from the sky. The lines are thousands of years old, yet the civilization that created them had no known way of viewing them from above. Some drawings stretch over 600 feet long, covering miles of desert with intricate, perfectly straight lines, impossible to execute without aerial guidance. Why were they made? Some researchers believe they were ritual pathways meant to be walked. Others suggest they were offerings to gods who were believed to watch from the heavens. The more bizarre theories propose they were landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors, an idea fueled by the fact that some figures resemble humanoid shapes with large eyes. No matter the explanation, the Nazca Lines are one of the most perplexing and unexplained artistic achievements of the ancient world. Number 7. the Lake Michigan Stonehenge. In 2007, researchers scanning the bottom of Lake Michigan stumbled upon something shocking: a series of massive stones arranged in a circle, eerily similar to Stonehenge in England. Even more mysterious, one of the stones was carved with what appears to be a prehistoric engraving of a mastodon, an animal that went extinct over 10,000 years ago. If the mastodon carving is real, it means this structure predates recorded history by thousands of years, built by an unknown civilization that left no other trace of its existence. Experts aren't sure what the site was used for. Was it a burial ground, a ritual site, or something else entirely? Some believe it's proof that ancient civilizations in North America were far more advanced than we thought. Because the site is difficult to reach, further studies have been slow. But the mystery of America's underwater Stonehenge is just beginning. Number 6. The Piri Reis map. In 1513, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis created a map that shouldn't exist. The map accurately depicts the coastlines of South America, Africa, and Antarctica. Yet Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, over 300 years later. Even more bizarre, the map shows Antarctica without ice, displaying its coastline as it would have looked thousands of years ago before it was covered in glaciers. Scientists today can only see this landmass using modern satellite imaging and sonar scans. So how did a 16th century cartographer know about it? Some believe Piri Reis had access to ancient maps from a lost civilization, possibly even from the legendary Library of Alexandria. Others think his sources were based on pre-Ice Age explorers whose knowledge was passed down and eventually lost. Either way, the Piri Reis map defies historical records and suggests that someone, long before modern history, knew far more about the world than we give them credit for. Number 5. The Ulfberht Viking swords. Between 800 and 1000 AD, Viking warriors wielded swords known as Ulfberhts, engraved with a mysterious inscription that set them apart from any other medieval weapon. These swords were made of a metal so pure and advanced that it wouldn't be replicated until the Industrial Revolution, 800 years later. Medieval blacksmiths didn't have the technology to produce such high-quality steel, as it required heating iron to extreme temperatures to remove impurities. Yet the Ulfberht swords were made of crucible steel, a material that wasn't supposed to exist in Europe at the time. How did the Vikings get this technology? Some theorists suggest they traded with the Middle East or Asia, where advanced metallurgy existed. Others believe a lost group of Viking blacksmiths had knowledge that disappeared after their time. Either way, the Ulfberht swords are centuries ahead of their time, leaving historians with a mystery they still haven't solved. Number 4. The Mount Owen claw. In 1986, explorers deep inside a cave in New Zealand stumbled upon a massive clawed foot that looked like it had just been ripped from a living creature. The skin, muscles, and tendons were still intact. A shocking discovery considering it belonged to a species that had supposedly been extinct for over 500 years. The claw belonged to a moa, a prehistoric flightless bird that could grow up to 12 feet tall. Moas were thought to have been completely wiped out by early Polynesian hunters, yet this claw was so well preserved that some speculated the species might still be alive in remote parts of New Zealand. DNA testing confirmed it was from a moa, but how it stayed in such perfect condition for so long remains unknown. Could there be more preserved remains, or even living descendants, hidden deep in the untouched forests? Some explorers aren't ruling it out. Number 3. The 1.8 billion-year-old nuclear reactor. In 1972, scientists in Gabon, Africa, discovered a nuclear reactor that had been running for over 500,000 years, except it wasn't built by humans. The Oklo reactor, as it's called, is a natural formation that somehow mimicked a modern nuclear power plant. Normally, nuclear fission doesn't happen naturally in Earth's crust. It requires precise conditions, engineering, and enrichment of uranium. But at Oklo, something naturally created a chain reaction that sustained nuclear fission for hundreds of thousands of years, something that should be impossible. Some theorists argue that it wasn't natural at all. Maybe it was an ancient power source, left behind by an unknown civilization. Mainstream scientists insist it was just a 1 in a trillion geological fluke. But if Earth accidentally built a working nuclear reactor on its own, what else could nature be hiding? Number 2. The 100,000-year-old artificial spheres. In Klerksdorp, South Africa, miners unearthed perfectly round metallic spheres, some with etched grooves running around them. The real mystery? The rock layer they were found in is over 2.8 billion years old, long before humans or even dinosaurs were supposed to exist. Mainstream scientists claim they are natural formations, but skeptics point out that the spheres are far too precise to be the result of random geological processes. Some are made of metal harder than steel, and they have been found in layers of rock so ancient that life on Earth had barely evolved past bacteria. If these objects were man-made, it means someone, or something, was on Earth long before humans. Were they left by an unknown civilization? Are they evidence of intelligent life that predated us? Or is our understanding of Earth's history completely wrong? Nobody knows, but these spheres shouldn't exist, and yet they do. Number 1. The underwater pyramid off the coast of Japan. Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan lies a massive stone structure that looks exactly like an ancient pyramid, except it's submerged underwater, buried under hundreds of feet of ocean. The weird part? It looks carved, with staircases, platforms, and sharp right angles that don't happen naturally. Mainstream geologists claim it's just a weird natural formation, but experts who have studied it argue that the patterns, symmetry, and layout are too precise to be natural. If it's man-made, it means it was built before the last ice age, when sea levels were lower. That's at least 10,000 years ago. Who built it? What was it used for? And if an entire civilization was advanced enough to build megalithic underwater pyramids, why did it completely disappear? If proven artificial, the Yonaguni monument could be evidence of a forgotten chapter of history, one that predates everything we know. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you pretty soon in the next one.